This is a great reading pillow, but it needs help. The arm has worn to the point where it's split, and we're sewing this back together. So we're using a regular needle, taking a heavier duty thread since it's going to get a lot of wear. This is upholstery thread, and black is handy for just about anything. For stitching, you're going to find on upholstery most of it's black anyway, no matter what color the fabric is, and it's going to be strong enough to handle it. So I already put the knot through on the underneath side, and we're going to get this stitched together. All right, I'm sticking my needle in here so I don't lose it. It's so easy to lose a needle when you're working with it, especially when it doesn't have a knot on the end. We're just, I had one knot so I can continue to thread through with the end and use all the length I can. So this is going to be a bear to fight with one hand, or even two hands, while I'm stitching. So we're going to pin it in place. Won't have that battle going on the whole time. It's a big heavy pillow, which is great. It's very durable, but we want the sewing of it to not be a big heavy deal. So I'll just put this together here so we can stitch this part now. Now that this is pinned, I can press these extra old stitches down in so the thread is hidden, and we're going to stitch this on the outside. It's our only choice right now, and we want it to be good and strong. So when these little loops come up, I'm just wanting to make sure I cover them. Them down in there. Okay, and now we'll just come through over and over again, both sides. Okay, I've stitched down over the pin as far as I can now, and I'm going to remove it. It'll hold in place, and I'm going to shift, pull that tight and then shift my pin further along. All right, we're putting the pin in a new place now to move our stitching further along. I didn't get both layers, so we'll do that again. There we go. Okay, we just keep going. Same pattern we were doing, just around and around this seam, and this part that we've done up to this point is underneath. When the pillow is sitting and you won't even see it, this part will be visible, but it's not offensive. It's a rugged looking, leathery looking fabric anyway, so as long as we keep our line generally where it makes sense that there would be a split, and we were lucky in this case, the split happened right on a seam, so having this stitching along a seam will still look very natural, even though it's not the original machine stitching. So we just keep moving the pin further down. Make sure you get through both layers. That's the point, is to keep them together. I sometimes poke the point into the fabric so I don't jab myself. time to move the pin again. Make sure all our stuffing is in there. Getting on more of a curved part. So I'm going to try a different strategy and go straight across this time. Okay, the gap is small enough now. I don't need to pin it anymore. I'm just pulling on here and keeping it snug to finish up the last distance. Hopefully we'll have enough thread to make the knot. That's always what you hope, is you don't have to stop in the middle. Okay, so we're getting toward the end. Last few stitches, and then we'll knot it. We're going to go through several times to make sure it's good and strong on that last stitch. We do not want this to come apart again. This is a tension point, of course, because you're always leaning against it, but you can see, get this out of here now. And this just looks like a rugged stitch for the leather, and it's not very noticeable, and it's going to be very strong. Here's our final knot we're making. I'm going to do one last stitch here. And then go halfway through. I like to take where the last snug stitch is and go around 3 times. Pull the string, or pull the thread through, and another stitch through the same to repeat it once. And then hide the stitch down inside one more time. We'll cut the string this time. Okay, we'll cut this string. We're going to pull this real tight, snip right down there close, just the string. Then when you pull back, the end is hidden inside there, and our knots are holding fast. So here's the final product. Instead of all of the stuffing coming out, now we have our reading pillow back. Good working condition.